Going through a separation is without a doubt one of the hardest things a person can do. And when you have kids, your first thought, your only thought really, is how to create a world for them that feels stable, predictable, and full of love. Well, that's exactly what a parenting plan is designed to do.
It's the big question, isn't it? The one that probably keeps you up at night. How are we going to make this work? How do we make sure our kids feel safe and secure when everything else is changing? The answer, as we're about to see, is found in creating a really clear, agreed-upon plan from the start.
So here's the most important thing to do right away. Change how you think about this. A parenting plan is not a weapon to be used against the other person. It's not about winning. Think of it as a roadmap. Seriously, it's a guide that gives you both direction, sets the rules of the road, and helps you avoid conflict because everyone knows the way forward. Okay, before we dive into calendars and who has the kids on which weekend, the plan has to start with the foundation. We've got to figure out who makes the major life decisions. And just as important, what are the ground rules for how you're going to talk to each other as co-parents?
First up, you'll see the term legal custody. This is all about the big picture, life-shaping stuff. We're talking about things like which school district to be in, whether to approve a major medical treatment, or how you'll handle religious upbringing. It's basically the authority to make those cornerstone decisions. And then there's physical custody. So if legal custody is about the big picture stuff, physical custody is all about the day-to-day. This is who decides the routine things, bedtimes, making sure homework gets done, what's on the table for dinner. It's handled by whichever parent the child is with at that moment. Now, for those big legal custody decisions, you've basically got two main options. The most common is joint legal custody. This really means you're a team. Both parents have to communicate and agree on the major choices. The other option is sole legal custody, where one parent is given the final say. The parenting plan will make it crystal clear which one you're following. This might be one of the most important parts of the whole document, setting clear rules for how you communicate. The whole point is to shield the kids from any adult conflict. So the plan will say things like, you absolutely cannot badmouth the other parent in front of the children, and you can't use your kids as little messengers. It even gets into how you'll talk, like stick to email or a specific app to keep things focused. All right, now we get to the part everyone thinks of first, the logistics. This section of our roadmap is the calendar. It's all about creating a rhythm, a sense of predictability that kids really need to feel secure. It lays out exactly where the children will be and when.
A really common way to set things up is with a repeating 2-week schedule. You'll hear it called a week 1, week 2 plan. As you can see, the plan spells out the exact day and time for every handoff. So maybe dad has the kids on the weekends in week 1, and mom has them on the weekends in week 2. It just repeats. That way there are no surprises. But wait, what about Thanksgiving or the 4th of July? Well, the plan has a separate schedule just for holidays and special days. And listen, this schedule is the trump card. It always overrides the regular weekly plan. A lot of times you'll see holidays alternate by year. So you get Thanksgiving in the even years, I get it in the odd years. It's all laid out to prevent any confusion. And vacations get their own set of rules too. The plan will say how many vacation weeks each of you gets. It'll also set up a fair system for picking them, like maybe you get first choice in odd years and I get first choice in even years. And it sets deadlines for when you have to lock in those plans. But just remember, if your vacation week bumps into a scheduled holiday, the holiday schedule wins. Okay, we've covered the decisions and the calendar. Next up, money. A good parenting plan doesn't just map out time, it also creates a really clear financial blueprint for sharing your children's expenses. Usually, the plan breaks down all the kid-related costs into 3 big buckets. First, who's responsible for providing health insurance. Second, how you're going to split the cost of childcare that's needed for work. And third, a clear system for sharing all those medical bills that the insurance company doesn't pick up. And the plan gets super specific about what actually counts as a medical expense, which is a good thing. It prevents arguments later. It's not just a trip to the doctor. It includes things like braces, glasses, prescriptions, even therapy with a licensed professional. What it usually doesn't cover is anything that's purely cosmetic. So, how do you get your money back for those out-of-pocket costs? The process is pretty simple. One parent pays the bill upfront. Then you submit written proof, like an itemized receipt, to the other parent. And the plan states they have to pay you back their share within a set time frame, in this case, 180 days. The keys are written proof and that deadline. Oh yeah, work-related childcare. That's a huge expense for a lot of families. The plan details exactly how that's handled. Sometimes that cost is already baked into the main child support payment. Other times it works as a separate reimbursement, often with its own deadline for submitting the proof, like the 120 days you see here. Let's be real. Life happens. Things change. A good roadmap needs to have a plan for detours and roadblocks. So, this last section covers how the parenting plan gives you a process for when you disagree on something or when a major life event, like one parent moving, happens. Okay, this is a really critical difference. If you two just have a good faith disagreement over what a part of the plan means, the first step you're required to take is mediation to try and work it out. But if one parent is just flat out not following the plan, that's a violation, and that's different. That can be taken straight to court by filing a motion to have a judge enforce the plan.
Now, what if one parent wants to move away? This is a huge deal, and it's governed by specific laws. You can't just pack up and leave. The plan requires a very strict formal process. You have to give at least 60 days notice in writing, sent by certified mail, and that letter has to include the new address, the reason for the move, and a proposed new custody schedule. It's serious business.
And, in the end, after all the calendars and the financial rules and the legal definitions, it all comes back to this one simple idea which is written right into the plan itself. The whole point of this entire roadmap is to make sure that the children can have a healthy, loving relationship with both of their parents. So the real question isn't just, what's the plan? It's, how can we use this plan to give our kids the best possible future?